to the meat. And there's a couple of things I want to go over real quick beforehand. We have a seminar January 17th in Fort Lauderdale, and this is going to be a major teaching seminar. It's January 17th. It's from 10 to 2. The tickets are $20 per person. They have some incredible speakers coming in. So what we need to do, if you guys, I don't know if you guys, all understand this or not yet, but the faster we learn, the faster we're going to grow. The more we put into our heads.
Sure it's not the 19th?
No, it is the 19th. I'm sorry. Thank you. Yeah, January 19th, Saturday.
Sorry for the correction.
Yeah,
Just
thank you very
the
much.
boss over here said it's 19th.
Look at that.
So.
She's already got her check ready. Ready to go. Anyways, very, very important for you guys to be there if you're serious about building this business. I have tickets, Ed has tickets, so see either one of us, and $20 a piece. We want to get as many people there as possible. What we're doing here, guys, is there's only about 2,500 people in the whole United States that knows what Ludaxx is about and that are distributors. That is nothing. The last business I got in, I did all right. I made probably about 60 grand over a year and a half, and there was 130,000 people in it. I have a friend that got into Monavie, and when he got in Monavie, there was about 35,000 people in Monavie. He built a business. He got serious about it, did a lot of work, and he's made just under $18 million in that business. And he'd never been in this business before, knew nothing about it. He was, I think, 25 years old when he got in it. So it gives you something to think about. And he hasn't done a meeting in 2.5 years, and he still makes about $15,000 a week. His brother's the one that called me about this business. And I looked at it, and I saw an opportunity here like I've never seen before. Because, listen guys, I've watched several of these businesses grow. I've watched them go, from where I got involved with them or where I looked at them, where there was, 100,000 people or so to millions of people. And this business is going to do the same thing. The only thing different is that I think we have the most powerful products that I've ever seen come down the line. And when you have a product and it affects people the way I've seen it affect them, Ed, Charlene, I mean, even some of the newest people in here like Mike have, already seen results on this product. When you have something that powerful, what happens is word spreads as everybody wants some of it. So, but we understand, we don't have all the answers. We're going to do the best we can. There's some great things about getting into a business early, and there's also some negative things. The negative things is the groundwork hasn't been laid. We're going and copying our brochures and doing everything we can, to promote the business. And I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I don't know, I know that Ludaxx is prepared to help us as much as possible, but we're going to grow fast. The growth that we've seen in just the last 2 months is mind-boggling. And the thing about it is, we've talked to some of the people in the business that are in it already, and they don't quite understand it. They don't understand how to put it together. What we've done, like Ed said, is we've taken some of the experience that we've gotten from some of these other businesses, and we didn't make much money in them, but we gained a wealth of knowledge. And that knowledge is what we're going to use to put this together. And it's so important that we take the knowledge that we have and we pass it on to you guys as fast as possible so you understand how to do this. And what we want to do is make sure that we don't leave anybody behind, because this, you look at these numbers, and I know Ed was talking about, we put 15 people in last week in one spot. Well, I want you guys to understand, I started with one person. And then 2. And I'm going to teach you guys how to do the same thing and create the same kind of momentum in your own business, so you have the exact same opportunity that I had and that Ed has. There's nothing, we're not gonna do anything different than what we're gonna teach you here. And I'm gonna run through it real quick. Ed is gonna spend a little time on the back office. I'm gonna have him do that after I run through some stuff. He covered a little bit of it. I'm just gonna go a little more in depth with it, that's all. And explain it to you, because we wanna make sure that everybody understands the fundamentals and the strategy in how we're building this. You see, in these businesses, I've watched people get in and make no money, and I've watched people get in and make a lot of money. I've watched people get in these businesses and work harder than anybody else and watch their business fall apart because they didn't know how to strategically build it. They didn't know how to create that momentum. And that's what we're gonna show you, is how to build this thing so that you have an income 20, basically 20 years from now, you still have an income coming in, because these products, there's no doubt in my mind that these products are gonna be around, and Jimmy Lou, the founder of the company, is coming out with more products, coming out with a starch blocker. There's another product that he's coming out with. We don't know what that's gonna be about. He's coming out with their own, they've teamed up with Apple, and they're gonna have what's called the Ludaxx, which is like the iPad, but it's gonna be a product that you can take and sit down with anybody and show them this business. Everything's gonna be on that. It's gonna automatically update. It's gonna be, we're gonna be, how do I wanna say it? We're gonna have the best products, we're gonna have the best technology, and we're gonna lead the way. And I want you guys to understand something here. 2,500 people is nothing. And we've got about 70 people in our group out of that 2,500. And we're growing faster, from what I understand, we're growing faster than anybody else in the business right now. So that's powerful, but there's a reason for that. And a lot of it's because of leaders like Ed and other leaders that are coming on the board, Charlene. We've got to take and teach each and every one of you guys exactly what we're doing so we can duplicate it, okay? So this is how this works. When I go and show somebody the plan, they say, hey, look, I want to get in. What I teach them to do is, or let's start out basically with what I did. I went and talked to Ed. Ed said, hey, I wanted to get in. I want to get in. So I'm going to take and Ed came in as an emerald. The thing about the emerald part of the business is if you buy in at it as an emerald, you can never be less than an emerald. As long as you remain active, you'll always be an emerald. It is incredible. I'm in another business, or I was in another business, and the difference in my income right now is probably about $6,000 if I had been able to buy into that business as an emerald a month.
When
Yes.
you say you have to stay active, what do you have to do to stay active?
You basically just have to stay on auto ship. That's it. As long as you're on auto ship, and if you're anything over a Ruby, you have to be on $100 a month auto ship. And one of the things that I really want to talk to everybody about is use your products. You can't sell this if you don't believe it.
If you don't buy in as Emerald and you move up to Emerald, can you go back down?
You can go back down. Yeah, you can. Your business can drop below an emerald. You can get in as a Ruby and you can build it to the emerald. That's no problem. The most important.
But you can still drop down if you don't, unless you buy in as.
Yeah, you can still drop down. But if you buy in at a Ruby, right now they're going to end this in January. But they're trying to, because we're trying to build enough people to launch the business. And once this business launches, hold on to your hats, because it is going to go 100 miles an hour. But what, I encourage anybody that's going to build this as a business to get in at Ruby or Emerald. And you can upgrade. So what we'll do is we'll put somebody in as a Ruby, and we'll say, look, do this, the first $500 you make, upgrade your business to an emerald. Okay? It makes sense. You can't, you know, I did some of the math, and just think about this for a minute. You know, if you put $1,000 in the bank, what do you get now in the savings? 0.5%, 2%. You know, if you got it in some kind of a money market, you might get a couple of percent, but you get 0.5%. So let's say, so you take $1,000, let's say I was to give you 5% in a savings account. That's only $50 a year. You get in this business as an emerald, and you end up with 5 people doing 100 points each below you. You get paid $25 a month. That's $300 a year. That's 30% on your $1,000 investment. You know, just another way to look at things. You know, now I understand there's auto ship and so forth, but those are products that, you know, we need to be using the products. The more you know about them, the more you use them, the more you'll be amazed by them, because you're going to have your own personal story. And it won't surprise you when somebody comes to you and says, hey, I've been taking this for 3 or 4 days and I've already lost a few pounds. You know, it happens right away. It's amazing. But anyway, so let's say, you know, I'm going to start my business just like every one of you guys did. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put 2 people in the business. Okay? And the first thing I'm going to do is say, look, I've got a responsibility to you to go out there and help you sponsor a couple people. We're going to make a list. We're going to take the names off that list, and I'm going to go with you and do some meetings. I did one for Mike this morning. You know, be a person of your word and take that seriously. Don't just put somebody in this business. You know, say, look, you know, let me go help you get some people. How do you do that? First thing I have happen all the time is people come back to me and say, oh, I've talked to everybody, you know, I'm talking to my friends and they're not, you know, they're not interested. Well, I can tell you this right now. Based on what I know about this product, everybody should be interested. Based upon what I know about this business and making money, everybody should be interested. So most people are talking too much about something they know too little about. So the best thing to do is back up, and I tell people, look, keep it simple. Don't try to explain everything, because what happens is, I've watched it time and time again, new people will go and talk to people, they get somebody excited, talked into the business and talked out in the same conversation. You know, 20 minutes later the guy's like, I'm not really interested in that. The easiest thing to do, if Ed put me in the business, he's going to tell me, Brian, just set up a couple meetings. And the way I do that is I call up my friend and I say, look, Joe, I've known you for a long time. I respect your opinion, and I want to show you something. I want to get your opinion about something. It is a business I'm looking at, and I know you can give me some good advice. Do you have 30 minutes that I could come over with Ed King and we could sit down and I can get your opinion on it? Will it work for you? I didn't tell him anything. I just told him that I respected his opinion and I need 30 minutes of his time. That's the easiest thing to do, okay? Until you get well enough versed that you can get into the product, and even, you know, I understand the product, I understand the business. I don't tell everybody everything I know. I say, look, when can we sit down? Because I need your undivided attention for 30 minutes. So I can run through the product, help you understand what you've got your hands on, and basically and show you the business if you're interested. And not everybody will be interested. Don't worry about it. There's a lot of people. You ever get stuck on the Palm City Bridge? There's a lot of people in Stewart. A lot of people running 95. 1.5 million people in Palm Beach County. Do we even have anybody in Palm Beach County yet?
Not yet.
I don't think we do. So, I mean, you know, if you just went and started cold calling people, you'll find somebody that'll do this with you. The sky is the limit right now, and we can lay that foundation. But don't say too much. This is, I passed out this sheet. This is a little, gives you an idea of what you want to say in a phone conversation with somebody. And the most important thing you want to do is just set up a time. And you bring somebody like Ed with you, or whoever sponsored you, and if they're not comfortable, their sponsor, but you bring somebody with you the first 5 or 6 times, and it's going to do 2 things. Most of us can sit there with somebody, and after 5 or 6 times, we can do it. We can do the same thing. Whatever you guys do for a living, I could watch you 5 or 6 times and you could probably teach me what you do. This is no different. And the other thing that's going to accomplish is what we're finding out is we go do 5 or 6 meetings for you and we're going to sponsor 2 or 3 people.
Or more.
Or more. And that's going to start your business rocking and rolling. So this is what we want to use. And I'm gonna whip through this real quick, but this is how we're strategically building this business, and it is very simple. Todd Humphreys, who designed this plan, who came up with this comp plan, told me, he said, Brian, you can build 2 legs in this business. If you get in as an emerald, you can build 2 legs and max it out at $200,000 a month. Now, in this business, I'm going to tell you right now, all these businesses, depth equals security. If you build a business deep, it's not going anywhere. Width equals profitability. Yep. Nice meeting you. I'll see you tomorrow, Matt. Call me.
All right.
Sorry about that. But anyway, so depth is your security. If you build a deep leg, it's not going anywhere. Okay? Especially the way we're building it. Your width is your profitability. Now what I do is I take the 2 guys that I started out with. First thing I did was we went and did some meetings. We brought some people to meetings like this, whatever we needed to do, and we took and I put each of these 2 guys in, and what I did was I said, look, you're going in a taproot. In that taproot, you owe that taproot 2 to 3 people. Minimum of 2 people. Yourself. So what's he do? We go out, we do some meetings, and we drop 2 people down here underneath that new guy that I put in. That guy hasn't done anything yet. But I know my responsibility is to work with these 2 guys doing a couple meetings. So this guy, I go out, start doing some meetings, and we sponsor 2 people for him. Now each of these new people that we put in there, we say the same thing to. You're going in a taproot, you owe the taproot a minimum of 2 people, hopefully 3. And we're going to take these 2 guys, and it doesn't, I mean, basically, there's a waiting room in this business. The way we run the waiting room is if you get in before, if Ed got in before Matt, well, Ed gets placed first. Because I showed them 2 guys at the same time, basically. Matt had to think about it. Ed said, sign me up. Calls me up, did you sign me up yet? Ed knew he wanted to do it now. It wouldn't be fair if I gave Ed to Matt. Okay? So that's how we do that. So anyways, what happens, if you guys understand this, is each of these 2 people grew into 4. These 2 guys, we're going to do the same thing with. They're going to go sponsor a couple guys, and before you know it, that leg's going to be picking up momentum. and it's gonna be you're gonna go from putting 5 people in that leg a week, to 10 people a week, to 15 people a week, to 25 people a week, and it's gonna grow faster and faster and faster. And new people getting in aren't even gonna have any idea what's happening to them, except they're gonna get in, get placed, they're gonna have some people underneath of them. Now, all I do is I teach people to do the exact same thing I did. And what do? You go and with your third person or fourth person, depends on who you get in the business, because some people are ready to go now. Some people, they have to learn a little bit and they take some time to get started. So with your third or fourth person, you're gonna go out, you're gonna start another leg. Okay? And you're gonna start doing the exact same thing. I'm gonna take and I'm gonna put 2 more guys in this leg. Because I'm always sponsoring new people. I'm always doing the same thing I'm teaching everybody else. I just keep putting people in. And I'm gonna tell these 2 guys, look, you know, every one of us is in a tap root, okay? It's just how long has that tap root been there? It doesn't really matter because we all start in the exact same place. We start with nobody, and what we do is we start creating momentum with that tap root. And we work together as a team, so you're not in the business by yourself. We're all working together to build the business. And what I do is the exact same thing. I take this guy, go out and do a couple meetings with him, sponsor a couple people, take the other guy, do a couple meetings. They get in that taproot in the order they come in. And these guys, after they've sponsored their 2, let's say this guy here has sponsored his 2 or 3 people. You know, if he's sponsored, listen, don't put your grandma who got in for $30 in a taproot, because it's really not fair to anybody else. Put people that are going to work. Take and put her somewhere where, and I'm telling you that because I put mine in the business. So she's, you know, she's going to be she wants to tell some of her friends, great, but she's not going to be out there running.
She's a customer.
She's basically a customer, but she's, you know, she
Where
wants
do
to
you
do
wanna-
something.
Where
So
do you want to align them?
you can put her. I can put her anywhere. You know, I can put her. I can put her anywhere. But this is what you're doing now. You're gonna take 2 or 3. I've sponsored 5 or 6 people, and I've got 2 tap roots running down. And what happens is each one of these guys owes 2 to 3 to that tap root. So if I've got 6 guys there that each owe 2, that's 12 people. So next week, we're gonna run 12 people down there. And we're gonna take those 12 people, they each owe 2. The following week, it's gonna go 24 deep. You see what I'm saying? And this is another thing that's very important. If this is you, and these are your people here, don't consider these guys your business. They're on your team, but they're not your business. They're on your team. You get credit for that volume. The way this works I know you're kind of new, let me just show you how this works. I always ask a new person, I just met you tonight, do you know 5 people that I probably don't know? Probably more like 200. But let's say we go out and we show a few people. And we find 5 people that say, hey, yeah, I'm interested in making some extra money. I'm serious about, you know, building a business, having a secondary source of income. I don't want all my eggs in one basket. So we're going to take those 5 people and we're going to go out with them and teach them the same thing we taught you. And we're going to find 25 people. Each one of those people only finding 5 people. And we're going to take those 25 people and take each of those 25 out and help them each find 5. And as we're growing, we're teaching each person how to do this. And we're going to take those 125 people out and help each of them find 5. And we're going to teach take each one of those out and help each of them find 5. Now that's little over 3,000 people. Auto ship is $100 a month. That's $300,000 a month in volume. As an emerald, you get paid 5%, 5 levels deep. Folks, I firmly believe in 6 months, there's gonna be people that have, in this business, in this room, that have 3,000 people in their business. Because this is the power of compounding. And it's so hard to fathom, but it expands at such a rapid rate. It's amazing. But it's also very important that we teach everybody the exact same thing. 5% of that number is just under $16,000 a month. That's not a bad income. And what did you do? You found 5 people. That's it. And you taught them how to do the same thing that you're doing. It is so simple. But I will say this, you have to have a phenomenal product to do that. And we have it. That's why Ed and I, when we saw what we saw in that room, and I know Nicole and Dennis and Bryce and Donna were down there, we saw what we saw in that room, we knew we had something. So anyways, that's how that works. Once you've got both of these legs growing, you really don't need to put anybody else down there unless it slows down. Unless you're not down there in the bottom of this leg working and you're not putting any new people in, then you better drop somebody new and get back to work. Because as long as that's growing, you've given each of these people something to lose. Now, at the same time, we're teaching them how to build their business, so what they're going to do is they're going to start their next tap room. And they're going to tell their people, look, you, and you guys, you 3 guys are on a team. You're working together. So before you put somebody in that tap room, call each other. So we know what we're doing. We're strategically building this. And when you build that depth, you're creating security. Because I can tell you what, this guy right here, probably not going to quit the business if there's 150 people under him.
So can I ask something?
Mm-hmm.
So you made another leg. So where do you put Grandma?
Well, you can, you know what? You know what I did? Was I put my daughter in because I needed to order extra product. I just put her in as a customer, and I dropped her in over there on the side. You know, so many levels deep, so that product flowed up. I didn't put her up right up by me, but you can put her anywhere. After January 31st, the business is going to change a lot because everybody's going to come in for $30. And then whatever product that they're going to buy. Now, I don't know how they're going to do it, but I'm still going to encourage people to come in with $500 or $1,000 worth of product. Because how can you be in business if you don't have any product? Mike owns a restaurant. If you have no food in the fridge, you don't have a business. You know, we have landscape companies. If we don't have, employees sitting on a mower, we don't have any business coming in. So anyways, what you do then, and this is the thing, guys, if you have a work ethic, if you believe in working, there is no limit to what you can do in this business. You can put 50, 75 people, 100 people. The gentleman, Todd and Kathy Humphreys are right here at the top of our business. Kathy Humphreys put 700 people personally in a business called Isogenics. She didn't slow down. She didn't stop. They made over 7 figures a year. Over $1 million a year was their income in that business. They had built 2 other businesses to over 7 figures a year in this industry before they came across this business. Todd designed the comp plan that pays us. This is the most advanced, I've never seen a comp plan pay out so much money as this one does. It is incredible. So what we're gonna do now is as you're building this business, you're gonna have your waiting room over here. And if these 2 legs are going good, you're gonna start a 3rd leg. And do the exact same thing. Do the exact same thing with that 3rd leg and get that momentum going. And the reason we teach it this way, one of the reasons we teach it this way is because each of us, one of the things in life that we are limited to is time. And I love the idea of building a huge business, doing millions of dollars in business, and not necessarily trading my time for money anymore. And that's the whole idea in this business. And if I take and teach you guys to go out there and build 4 legs, and they're going to branch out all over the place, but you're going to build these securely, this is what I've learned. And this is what I want you guys to duplicate in your business. I can take 4 nights a week, and I can do a meeting for this guy who's the newest guy down there, and I can invite these people. I can do a meeting for this guy, I can invite these people who are all on his team. I can do a meeting for this guy and this guy, and I've helped everybody that I've put into that business work in the business 4 nights a week. So it's very simple. This is something that we've learned it, and we understand it, and we know if we implement it right off the bat in this business, and we teach you guys to do the exact same thing, you're going to build a secure business that's not going to go anywhere. Because as long as there's new people coming in down here, these people are going to be excited. They're going to be plugging their people in. They're going to be, talking to people. And listen, some people aren't going to do it. One guy here may put 3 people in. This guy may put 1. This guy may put 100. You don't know. It depends. It's life. Depends on who wants it most. And right now, it's wide open. In the whole United States, anywhere you know people, you can plug them in. And I know this. I don't know about the rest of you, but I know Ed and I, we're going to take this thing global. Around the world. Because that's where the corporation's going, and we've got the opportunity to be a part of that. 2,500 people, and I foresee in the next 2 to 5 years, literally 2-3 million people in this business. And we got in on the ground floor. So that's exciting. And this is going to be huge. I talk to people just about the business opportunity. Who wouldn't want to jump on board? It's a fast moving train. And it's going to get, it'll get crazy hectic, but very exciting. So, Deborah, did you have a question?
You said if you come in at the emerald level, then you can never drop below the emerald level. Can you explain the advantage of that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna go back and use my other business as an example. The last business I was in, because I've studied several of these businesses, but the last business I was in, I put a couple people in the business. I actually sponsored, I don't know, like 20 some people. And I put a bunch of people in one leg over here. And one of the differences was we also put people all over the place. Didn't build it just like I showed you how to build it. So what I'm teaching you, I learned from experience. But I've got a leg here that literally does $250,000 in volume a month, every month. And I got a couple legs over here that I've hardly been able to keep active. I was constantly, when I was building the business, I was constantly working with those people. Just couldn't find anybody that would take off and run with it. So what happened is I lost my qualification for my pin level. And all this business over here that I created, that I put people down in there, and we gave people, you know, to these other people and helped them succeed, which is a good thing. I average maybe $1,000 a month in that leg. Okay? If I had been able to buy into this business at the emerald level that is shown on this comp plan, my income would be probably about $7,000 a month. Huge, huge difference, because at the emerald level, they give you the 3 legs that you need to qualify. You don't really have people there, but they say you've already got 3 qualified legs. Okay? That's why this is such a, I mean, it's like a free gift. You can never, as long as you stay active, even if your volume falls below, or you have all your volume in one leg, you're still going to get paid 5%, 5 levels down. And what happens if you weren't an emerald? Let's say you can only use 60% of your volume, but if you're not an emerald, if you don't have any personally sponsored people, you don't get to collect. You only collect 2 levels down. So you collect on these 2 levels, that's it. But by buying in as an emerald, if your business did shrink up, you're always going to get paid 5 levels down. So, and I don't think anybody in this room will have a problem with that because of the rate that this business is growing. And the other thing that this business does, a lot of the other businesses that I've been involved with, if somebody here decides to quit, that's a level you get paid on. In the other businesses I'm in, or I've been in, they stay there for a year. Try to get paid on 0. 0 is 0. In this business, if they're not on auto ship 1 month, it compresses. And this guy moves into that spot. So you get paid on all that. That is huge. Huge. Because you will. I mean, come on, people are people. You're going to have people that get in this with all the right intentions and do nothing. And you're going to have people that get in and it's just not the right timing. They got their dog sick, this is going on, whatever their excuse is. I've heard them all. And maybe 2 months later they're going to wake up and say, you know what? I can't hardly pay my mortgage this month. I better do that. You know, one of the things that we do find is people, oh, that's just not working for me. And I'll go in there and I'll show them their tree and I'll say, look, you know, there's 40 people underneath you. Are you telling me you can't go find somebody? Obviously it's working for somebody else. I mean, it's not hard. We want to keep this very simple and we want to keep it very duplicatable, because if everybody builds the business the same way, you're going to have both security and you're going to have